And welcome one, welcome all. It's time for NCAA Division III postseason women's basketball. The Firebirds of Carthage College hosting the Big Blue of Millikin University. Hello, everybody, alongside my broadcast colleague all season and once again this evening, Eric Elger. I'm Peter Ferreri. Eric, let's set the scene. Let's look at this postseason bracket. Once again, it's a matchup of just a few days ago. Carthage defeated Millikin on the road, earned the home game that we are going to see this evening. Elmhurst and Wheaton will also be taking on one another this evening. We'll keep you afloat as to what those scores are throughout the night. The winner tonight between Millikin and Carthage takes on number 1 ranked Illinois Wesleyan. So if Carthage comes out on top, it's a familiar foe with Illinois Wesleyan that they have defeated earlier in the season. But let's not get ahead of ourselves right now tonight. Millikin, Carthage, the stage is set, and Millikin and Carthage, both teams have two arguably the best players in the conference. Millikin, who do they have that have led the charge this year, that have gotten that nice preseason, or postseason I should say, accolade?
Well, the newcomer of the year in the CCIW, Nicole Johnson, also made the all-CCIW second team, currently leading the team in points. And we saw her earlier in Kenosha on, I believe it was January 11th, and we came away impressed with her game. And she is strong inside, also leads the team in rebounds, and is just a freshman, has been impressive for this Big Blue team for sure all season. Yeah,
when you look at what she's able to do, I mean, she took over the game. She continues to take over the games. This past weekend, just kind of was a non-factor, but flip of a switch and she could be right back on tonight. Let's go to the other side. Leading the charge for the Firebirds, as she had most of her career, number 33, Mariana Morrissey.
I mean, she has been the key piece for the Firebirds. It felt like since she's since she's arrived here, and to blossom into an all CCIW first team, unanimous decision. Everyone in the league respects her game, and she will be a key figure as well for the Firebirds, because if she can continue to attack the basket, lead the way in defense, she is a crucial piece to this Firebirds team.
Again, they just met a few days ago. Let's go back to their first meeting, though, over a month ago, and recap where things were, again, January 11th here in Kenosha.
A game that was really close. Carthage was actually leading late in that game, and Millikin just able to rise to the top. And something that Coach Jones mentioned was a key factor was Carthage was out-rebounded by 10 in this matchup. So when we look at the next game, which just happened just on Saturday, you'll see how that story flipped. Yeah. And, look at, it's been the same cast of characters for the Firebirds as you see on February 22nd. A game Carthage commanded all game and was leading, has won each one of the 4 quarters. And as I mentioned, they turned that rebounding margin around the second matchup and actually out-rebounded Millikin by 16 in matchup number 2. And Coach Jones said that was the key factor for the victory on Saturday.
Indeed. We're going to turn it over to PA announcer Justin Corrigan for the national anthem. CCIW postseason on the Firebird Broadcasting Network.
Who has also been named the CCIW First Year Student Athlete of the Year. And on the first team from Carthage College, Mariana Morrissey. Fans, please direct your attention towards the American flag located at the north end of the arena. It draped over the coffin of Captain Frank Vavrin, a former Carthage student who died in Vietnam in 1970. The flag is a gift to the college from his parents. In remembering Captain Vavrin, we pay tribute to all who have sacrificed their lives for our country and honor those who today put themselves in harm's way in service to America. At this time, we ask that you please rise if you are able and remove your caps for the playing of our national anthem.
By the dawn's early light, what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight
sport fans, it's time to meet tonight's starting lineups for this evening's first round matchup between the Millikin Big Blue with a CCIW record of 7-9 and an overall record of 8-17, and the number 3 seed Carthage Firebirds with a CCIW record of 9-7 and an overall record of 17-8. From Millikin at guard, a 5'6" senior from Iowa City High School in Coralville, Iowa, number 7, Latea Tellis. For Carthage at guard, a 5'7" junior from La Follette High School in Madison, Wisconsin, number 10, Malia Green. For Millikin at guard, a 6' senior from Sullivan High School in Sullivan, Illinois, number 10, Emily White. From Carthage at forward, a 6' grad student from Northfield High School and Lawrence University, hailing from Northfield, Minnesota, number 12, Emma Carlson. For Millikin at guard, a 5'7" senior from Villa Grove High School in Philo, Illinois, number 13, Kylie Block. From Carthage at guard, a 5'5" senior from Kettle Moraine Lutheran High School and hailing from Grafton, Wisconsin, number 21, Emma Thistle. For Millikin at guard, a 5'8" sophomore from Sullivan High School in Sullivan, Illinois, number 21, Izzy Hay. For Carthage at forward, a 6' senior from Lockport Township High School in Lockport, Illinois, number 30, Elena Knebel. For Millikin at guard, a 5'11" senior from Sacred Heart Griffin High School in Springfield, Illinois, number 30, Emily Brenison. And for Carthage at forward, a 5'8" senior from Libertyville High School in Libertyville, Illinois, number 33, Mariana Morrissey. The Millikin Big Blue are coached by Kirsten Hammer. Coach Hammer is assisted by assistant coach Mallory Liebel and volunteer assistant Bill Dobrik. The Carthage Firebirds are coached by Megan Jones. Coach Jones is assisted by Madison Nitch and graduate assistant Lauren Herman. The officials for tonight's contest are referee Jody Duffy and umpires Dan Schmidt and Jeffrey Yoder.
And let me officially welcome you in as we are just moments away from tip-off. It's the opening round of the CCIW tournament. Alongside Eric Elger, I'm Peter Ferreri. The starting 5 for the Big Blue, Tellis, White, Block, Hay, and Bryn Eisen are going to be your starting 5 today. For the Big Blue of Millikin, as for the home Firebirds and their starting 5, Malia Green, Carlson, Thistle, Knebel, and Morrissey. Tip away, Thistle up ahead, and the patented 4 seconds this time hits off the side of the rim, swatted back out of play. That'll go the way of Big Blue. They almost scored in the first 6 seconds, but the shot was there.
Yeah, a good look there for Knebel. Just a little short there on the shot. Hard to be ready to go in the first few seconds sometimes. But what an interesting matchup here. We've mentioned teams split the 2 contests in the season, so which team's going to win that pivotal 3rd game here in the opening round of the CCIW tournament?
Looking off to the right side, nothing there initially. One more swing, the jab step, Thistle, tough defense. Left wing, shot up, nothing but the bottom of the net. The trifecta starts things off for the Big Blue. Number 30, Emily Bryn Eisen, averages 10.5 a game. Nice start for Bryn Eisen. She's averaging 11 in conference play. Another opportunity now for Big Blue. Again, one of their leading scorers, Tellis, not in the lineup currently. Last time out, she did not get the start either. They brought her off the bench. Offensive foul going to be called.
Yeah, Tellis has been the kind of the scoring punch off the bench, and they play a little different when she's in the game. More of a post player than out on the arc, and you can see how Millikin starting the game, 4 out, they got 1 inside, but they like to play around the 3-point line. You saw Bryn Eisen already hit one tonight.
Yeah, so Tellis in the contest. Nicole Johnson not yet in. Waiting to see what that conversation is going to be. One of the coaches already having a conversation with her on the sideline, and indeed, here comes Johnson. So that took about a minute and a half before they wanted to bring her in. Off the back iron, no good. Green coming away with the rebound. So far, Green missed a 3, and Knebel missed the baseline jumper from about 5 feet out.
And Carthage last game Saturday, 8 of 12 from behind the arc. One of the best shooting nights they've had all season.
Morrissey pulls up. Green tries to run it down. Trap defense, and they're going to ease up a bit as the Firebirds try to get back. Again, their defense, we'll say, much more vaunted. 3 ball, no good. Morrissey dives down for it. Gets it off to Green. Green has it swatted away. Still on the ground. And a jump ball finally. So Morrissey tossed it to Green, but then immediately Green couldn't get a good handle on it. And the jump ball is going to favor Big Blue. So it is a quiet first 2.5 minutes. No points for the Firebirds.
Yeah, they've had a few looks near the basket, just not able to connect. And there, Green trying to start the fast break and almost didn't see all the bodies on the floor as it swiped away.
Layup with the right hand. Not sure if that was blocked away or a miss, but nonetheless, Morrissey, pure speed, loses a handle, and it touches the line, but last touch by Tellis. She disagrees with the call, but nonetheless, it'll be an inbound for the Firebirds. They need a basket.
Last game there led by Emma Thistle with 18 points. Look for her to get involved.
Yeah, Emma Thistle, I mean, just truly put the team on her back. Morrissey, soft off the front of the rim. Thistle comes away with a Knebel from the elbow. Rims out, no good. Morrissey goes up. She loses a handle. And a foul going to be called. And I think it's on Thistle. It is. That is Thistle's, or excuse me, that's on Tellis. Okay, so that's the first foul on Tellis. I thought it's the second foul. So 2 team fouls, 1 personal foul so far on Tellis.
That is something that played a factor last game as well, as Millikin had 25 fouls. Carthage was getting to the free throw line, and there, Morrissey having a little trouble handling the ball here early on. Leading the break a few seconds ago, and there just loses it out of bounds. So maybe some opening tournament jitters here for the Firebirds.
Already a huge shift inside. So Carlson goes just about 3 minutes in the contest. She subbed out. Grace Cord comes into the game. And then Orozco checks in, who had herself a very good outing this past weekend as well. Thistle lights out against this very team on the road to secure that bye. Tellis pump fakes. Driving in, stolen by Green. Green tries to push the pace. Slows things up to Thistle. Orozco from the hip. Back rim, no good. Cord offensive board. Thistle thought about it. Green, wide open! No good. Side rim. Cord offensive board. She goes up strong. Orozco tries to go up. She has it swatted away. That was about 6 missed shots on the same possession. I am not quite sure I've seen something like that all season.
Well, something to be encouraged about is that the Firebirds active early, so that rebound advantage they had last game looking to be there tonight, but you still got to capitalize and make them.
Nicole Johnson takes advantage. Firebirds have not scored in over 4 minutes. They are blanked to begin this game. 0 for 8 from the field. Green steps back, gets it to Morrissey, trying to reset up the offense. Thistle. Oh, from the sideline, Emma Thistle. Oh, boy. Trying to answer back. Nickel chips it away. Inside, matchup for Nickel Johnson. Underneath the basket, hits the rim and goes out of play. Malia Green all smiles as she just had to step up. Nobody was guarding Johnson, and that's the one player you can't leave open.
Yeah, she was getting back down there, and Malia Green did a nice job of just maneuvering her body around and able to get a piece of that block. But how about Emma Thistle? Starting the game with a 3 from deep. And that's something that the Firebirds needed here this game, and see if they can launch off of that.
It's a red out here at Tarble Arena in Kenosha. Warmer today than it has been the past few days. Cord thought Morrissey was going to take that one extra step. And just like that, a three-pointer from down the road in Summers is all we have to speak for. Offensively for the Firebirds, Millikin, an early three in the contest. Nickel Johnson a few minutes later. I don't want to necessarily say it's a defensive battle. Both teams have had their shots. Carthage 1 for 9, and Millikin is 2 for 7. So the shots have been there, they just have not fallen.
Yeah, and this plays into the Big Blues' hands here, as they need a little more of a low-scoring game to hang with Carthage, because when they put up 71 on Saturday, Millikin was just no match for them offensively. But if Millikin can keep this a little bit of a defensive struggle, slow it down a little bit on offense, they've already proven that they can beat the Firebirds in that type of game. So where are the Firebirds going to find some offense, and who else can step up? Thistle proven she's ready to let it fly tonight. But where are some of those other points? Who are going to be some of those role players for the Firebirds that might step up here as well?
Now, something to address right now. One of the officials, and this might be newer this season, we have an official stoppage right now as there is a piece of the red tape that was coming up in one of the floorboards, and I don't recall seeing that earlier in the season over on the left side. So we'll see if that comes into play. The official looked like he fixed it. It's the one piece, you can kind of see it in the broadcast there, that's a bit off-colored. We'll see if that comes into play, because one of the maintenance technicians was looking at it during that whistle. Johnson, left hand, rolls around and misses. Those are the shots you want if you're Big Blue.
Yeah, Nickel Johnson, second in field goal percentage in the CCIW this season, and that is a look that she's hit more often than not.
Grace Cord dodges to the right, and they need the offense from Cord as she hustles down. Ill-advised pass, Tellis too far for Johnson, tied at 5. And I will say this, again, it's a red out here in Tarble Arena. Great to see all the home fans in attendance wearing red, but the point as Carlson comes back in, gives Grace Cord a breather, I think we are going to see a healthy and quick rotation at that 5 spot, because they're going to say, fine, we know it's going to be the Nickel Johnson show. That's the reason they lost a few weeks ago. But Nickel Johnson is not the reason that the Firebirds won this past weekend. They're going to get that healthy rotation in and always keep a fresh body and just try to outrun her and make the rest of the team beat her. Carlson, down low, the matchup. Up strong, misses point blank, still on the ground. The double team slid over, nowhere Carlson can go with it. Still nursing a little bit of an injury. Wamser almost swipes it away. They're trying to feed Johnson inside. The matchup they want now is Morrissey on Johnson. Carlson out for 3, and a 3-second violation going to be called against Nickel Johnson. Right call. She planted down low and did not move.
And you had it right, as they have really looked to feed her the ball. They threw it out of bounds on a quick transition. They tried to hit Carthage on, and there, I believe it was Tellis trying to feed her. So you know where Millikin's trying to go here, and something that has burned Nickel Johnson this season is foul trouble, so that's something the Firebirds also like to exploit.
Still tied at 5. Wamser didn't take the early shot. Green, the up and under, just misses again. The shots are there for the Firebirds. They are just not falling. The earlier game against Millikin, one that Coach Jones would attest they felt they could have had, just couldn't close. They closed up shop this weekend to secure that 3 seed. Backing in, offensive foul called against Nickel Johnson. Head coach Kirsten Hammer not pleased with that call. But nonetheless, that'll bring Johnson to the bench, tied at 5.
So yeah, with Johnson to the bench, you'll see Millikin play a little more outside, that more three-point game, and they have a lot of players that like to light it up from there, and Brent Ison's already been one that's hit tonight.
Morrissey looked for 3. The scoring drought continues. Firebirds 2, for 13. Tellis. She's that player that can be in there, the cross-country type runner all game, has the endurance. Knebel back in. Out to Thistle. Thistle has 3 of the 5 points for the Firebirds.
Ooh, close there. That was nearly a travel.
Malia Green has to throw it in from the hip, up ahead to Tellis, and Knebel with the foul. Almost could say it's a smart one. Malia Green wide open on the baseline cut. Couldn't hold on to it. And again, I don't want to necessarily say this in a derogatory way, just a little bit of sloppy play from both teams.
Yeah, just uncharacteristic, unforced really turnovers. Like we've had just some dribbling out of bounds and they're just unable to hang on to it. But Morrissey doing a nice job of ripping it and getting it back for the Firebirds.
2:09 remaining in quarter number 1. If you would have told me that it'd be 5-5, I wouldn't have believed you. Especially after the offensive output Carthage had, 71 points against Millikin just a few days ago.
Yeah, it's looking more like a softball score currently.
Carlson backing in fadeaway jumper, left iron, no good again. Resetting up the offense is Bryn Eisen. She had the 3-pointer to start the scoring. Tellis guarded by Green, the jab step. Turning around, top of the paint. Morrissey left her feet slightly. Driving in, and a foul going to be called. Tellis was open for 3, but keeping it herself was Emily White out of Sullivan, Illinois. That's actually going to go on.
Yeah, who was that?
It looks like they called it on Carlson. So Emma Carlson going to get credited with the foul. I thought it was going to be on Green, but they called it.
Me too.
They called it the opposite. So
something that Coach Jones said that Carthage did well on Saturday was stopping those drives to the basket because Millikin likes to spread it out, drive to the hoop, kick it out for some 3-point attempts, and there they couldn't step up to stop the drive on that last possession.
So Cord and Knebel in. Pass into Morrissey. Not quite the position she wanted. Green at the top for Thistle. Knebel, not known for the 3, but not afraid to take it. Under 10 on the shot clock. Let's see if they clear out for Morrissey. From the elbow, up, the under, misses the front of the rim. Chases down her own shot. Thistle off the backboard, no good. Nickel Johnson with the rebound. 2 for 15 in the opening quarter of action.
Yeah, there's no way to cut it. Can't win the game if you're going to shoot like this, but you know Carthage, at some point, results are going to turn around here.
Yeah, the law of averages said you aren't going to shoot 13% for the entire game. The challenge is going to be who's going to hit that start button first. 11-second differential, shot clock and game clock. Thistle drives in. She's called, or she is fouled, I should say, is going to the line for 2. Foul going to be called. Nalea Carter is going to be called out of Louisville, Kentucky.
And free throws are a remedy for poor shooting. If you can get to the free throw line, draw some contact. Unfortunately, they're not able to hit the first free throw. But I like what Thistle did there is really put a ball fake in there, put her nose down, head down, get to the bucket.
Makes the second one of the best free throw shooters in the CCIW is Thistle. Truly put the team on her back this past weekend and didn't look back. Emma Thistle also got a postseason accolade in her own right, so congrats to her.
I believe, what is that, the Respect Award winner for
yes,
the Firebirds?
It was.
And I've seen her for sure deserving, as I've seen her smiling, laughing with referees, just seems to just enjoy the game and definitely enjoys it with Firebirds and come out on top here.
Nickel Johnson tried to back in. Grace Cord. Oh, nice give, go. Swiped away by Cord with 1.3 seconds left. So Cord had her backed out all the way to the elbow. She got that inside leverage pass a bit too far. It's got to be Inbound and shoot. There's the inbound. There's the shot. And it's good. Kylie Block, the transfer from Illinois Central College. And they are giving a thumbs up. It's going to stand. Your score at the end of a fast quarter number 1, Millikin 8, Carthage 6. We'll be back for quarter number 2 on the Firebird Broadcasting Network. Welcome back to the Firebird Broadcasting Network. Once again, 12-10 your score. In your out-of-town scoreboard, Nickel Johnson kicks out to the left side. Bernyson dodges in, and 3 seconds again on Nickel Johnson. Now, let me ask the question. You're not going to change your strategy at all. But what's the conversation right now? Because clearly the officials, one time you could say it's a fluke, but now that's 2 times they're looking at that situation.
Yeah, and that's something that if Coach Jones is, can get in the ear of the referee sometimes. And I got to say, as ref in a few basketball games, I mean, once a coach does mention that to you, you are going to just naturally look at that. And so just be interesting to see if that's something the refs were aware of or just making the calls as they come.
Morrissey from the hip, doesn't hit the rim. Shot clock violation. Malia Green in no man's land up top. Staunch defense. There wasn't a lot of movement alongside of her, and so.
Yeah, I would say it was a lot of swirling around at the top of the key.
Yeah.
And they were, shifting the ball around, but there wasn't really any cuts to the basket, any strong moves to get by the defenders, and so Millikin doing a nice job staying in front of the Firebirds.
Carthage 7-4 at home, 8-4 on the road. Nickel Johnson backs in, and there is no player in the CCIW who's going to stop her from getting her shots. It's merely the question of how many of them are going to go in, and if you're Carthage, you got to say to yourself, it's only a matter of time before more of those keep dropping for Big Blue. When are they going to fall for us? Morrissey up strong, another miss. Knebel up, top of the backboard, her own offensive pickup. Thistle trying to reset the offense. Carlson, the transfer student, can she have an impact? The give and go. Up, under, layup, right hand, and good. That'll break the scoring drought for the Carthage College Firebirds as Carlson gets her first basket of the evening, the Lawrence transfer.
Nice job by Carlson getting her defender up in the air. She looks like she took a little weird ankle turn there.
Yeah, she's gingerly making her way back up court. Let's see if there's any subs based on that. Again, Pekaski hasn't been on the court yet. She's one of the rotational bigs. We've seen a lot of Cord so far. The kick out, Malia Green. Can she take the lead? Yes, she can. Abracadabra, abra-ooh-la-la. Malia Green with the 3.
How about that? Malia Green, a effective three-point shooter this season, 32%, and she's hit some timely shots, and Firebirds getting on top with that green bomb there.
Morrissey tries to answer, not able to find it, soft off the front rim. Up ahead, Nickel Johnson, the up, the under, another miss, swatted, it's like volleyball. Tellis under the net, foul going to be called on Morrissey. Johnson kind of holding her head, saying to herself, my goodness, I'm having all of these point blank shots. They're just not falling. And luckily enough, Eric, there was a foul called on Carthage before Tellis got that shot off, because that could have been called for a violation going the opposite way through the basket. And indeed, I just wanted to call Jesse Pekaski has checked in for Carlson.
I was going to give you that credit. Just mentioned her name, and right on cue. Yeah, Nickel Johnson leads second in the CCIW in shooting, 2 of 8 tonight, 25%. And she has had a lot of looks right under the hoop. And something you can see Millikin likes to do with her is she sprints to the other side of the court. When they get the rebound or they're inbound on the ball, she is sprinting the other side. So something Carthage is going to have to be aware of and be ready to defend.
All right, Tellis is still keeping things up. Morrissey called for, a jump ball forced by Tellis. Wow, what a play. I was just going to say, Tellis is just the motor that keeps on churning along. Malia Green now getting one of her first breathers of the evening. Nora Aram comes into the contest, the Division I UIC Flames transfer. Pekaski from the elbow, nails it. 13-12.
Breakdown in the big blue defense there, just out of the inbound play. Just Knebel finds herself wide open from short range. The soft touch knocks it down.
Morrissey, one of your top scorers in the contest, almost a steal. Thistle, Tellis tries the Euro step, nowhere to go with it. Top of the key, under 10 to go. The jab step by Bella Dudley, who's checked into the game. Dudley drives, nowhere to go. The turnaround, looks for the pass, and shot clock expires. What a defensive stand for the Firebirds.
What a job defensively, and you can see Big Blue not knowing where to go without Nickel Johnson. I mean, when she's in, they have a real identity when they would have her on the floor. There you could see a lot of passing around, not really knowing who's going to step up to take the shot, and a shot clock violation caused by the Firebirds.
Thistle, and they're going to call it for an offensive foul. Nalea Carter out of Central High felt that contact and let it go. Smart play by Carter. The second you start feeling that elbow coming your way, you either got to fight through it or say, if you're going to keep that elbow out there, Emma Thistle, then something's going to happen. So Izzy Hay is checked into the game. Hay got the start today. Nickel Johnson back in. Knebel slides older. Johnson up strong, makes the basket.
She's so good at getting good position down there, just the way she can use her body and carve out space. Knebel just can't get anywhere around to block the shot, and again, you can see why she is so effective there, just freeing, getting open and doing damage.
A foul going to be called at the top of the key. That's going to be the second foul on Nalea Carter. She takes a break on the bench, and again, I don't want to say if there's a player to get the fouls, you want it to be a player like Carter, but again, she's not offensive threats, so if it need be, you'd rather that than the Nickel Johnson or, Mattia Tellis. Tellis still in the contest. They don't let her breathe. Cord up, under, back iron, no good. Punch down, Cord fights through. Emma Thistle for 3. Can't find the rebound. Grace Cord again on the offensive. What an impact the true sophomore has had. Small lineup with Thistle, Aram, last touch by Tellis with 13 seconds remaining. Both teams finding a little bit more scoring in the second quarter, but still Carthage at 21%, Millikin at 29. Johnson 3 for 9 in all of her shots from that point blank range.
And Carthage already with 9 offensive rebounds, which has been a huge, I want to say, a big portion of their buckets have come on those second chance opportunities. So where would they be without this offensive and defensive rebounding advantage that Firebirds are using full effect here?
Yeah, and it's not only the second chance points. I wish they counted how many sequences there were where it was third, fourth. I mean, there were so many times, as we'll go through some of the highlights here. Here's Emma Carlson with that up and under floater with the right hand. So we'll see how she's feeling. Has been in the lineup in a minute. Again, Pekaski coming in. Pekaski, Cord, Knebel, and there's Malia Green getting her first trifecta. She's a player they need to heat up. And I don't want to say specifically it needs to be her. It's a situation for the Firebirds right now. You never know offensively who's going to be the leading scorer of a game. Years past, Lauren Knight. Years past, always Mariana Morrissey. And we do see Carlson off to the side right now talking with one of the trainers. But the reason I think that bears mentioning is Carlson could be your leading scorer. Morrissey, Green, Emma Thistle this past weekend led the charge. You can't defend every player, but one of the players right now, Eric, needs to step up, and we're going to see who it's going to be. On the flip side for Millikin, again, Nicole Johnson has 6 out of the 14 points, and it could be a lot more if she wasn't only shooting 3 for 9 thus far in the contest.
Yeah, Carthage fortunate that she has missed some of those.
Blocked away by Brynison. Again, whether it's passing out of bounds or turnovers, surely not the start that the Firebirds expected. Pass inside, Cord backing down to Nicole Johnson, the fadeaway and good. Carlson about to check back in. 8
nice,
points.
I was going to say, nice move by Johnson there. He's gone right a lot in there, turns and fades away.
Nora Aram shoots the 3 off the right iron, no good. Aram going to sub out for Malia Green. Carlson coming in for Cord. So once again, they're taking out the defense. They're bringing in the offense. Again, we've seen Grace Cord have career numbers this year within her playing time based on the matchup. So that quick sub continues to be the story for Carthage. And as for Millikin, it's the slow and steady is going to win the race right now, as the Firebirds do not have an answer for Nicole Johnson. The pass deep inside. Johnson kicks it out. Tellis back to Johnson. Up strong right hand and good. Right now, the answer to the test for Millikin is Nicole Johnson. 10 out of 18 points. She's heating up.
She just flashed the too small celebration there, too. So feeling confident. Nicole Johnson, who's going to step up and be physical against her, because it's just a tough matchup.
Under 10. Thistle pulls the trigger, hits off the top of the backboard, goes out of play. When they played this past Saturday, Carthage, 19 points in quarter number 1 to 12 of Millikin, 20 points in quarter number 2 to 15 to Millikin. It was a 39-point output for Carthage in the opening half to 27, and they didn't look back. So for all intents and purposes, if you are surprised offensively to what Carthage has done, you have a right to be that way, because they still haven't matched, with 3 minutes remaining until half, their entire first quarter output of a few days ago. And another jump ball called. Morrissey gets trapped underneath. It's going Big Blue's way.
And credit to the Big Blue. They've been able to tie up Morrissey, frustrate her. And something I want to point out is Carthage 2 of 13 from three-point land. Last game they were 8 of 12. So, I mean, they've already taken more three-pointers in this first half than they took all game on Saturday. And I think if you're Coach Jones, you might want to balance that, think about balancing that out a little bit. And can we get some looks down low against this Big Blue defense?
Looking in for Nicole Johnson. Carlson on the matchup with 3, with 2, with 1. Tellis off the glass, can't find it. Coach Jones yelling for the team to set up offensively. Staunch defense again for Big Blue. Morrissey finds herself driving in. Layup with the left hand and finds it. Arguably the cleanest shot Morrissey has had this evening. The one time the slide doesn't help defensively for Big Blue and Carthage within 3.
Exactly what I was talking about. They need some looks like that from Morrissey. Just get to the basket, try to draw some contact, or if you're Morrissey, just speed by everybody and use that left hand.
The lefty up for 3 and let it hang. Bryn Eisen with another trifecta, her second 3 of the evening. Bryn Eisen, again, averages 10 a game. 6-point lead. Morrissey gets called driving in. Bryn Eisen with the foul.
And there again, the all-CCIW player putting the offense on their back here the last 2 possessions. And this is going to be another factor. It's one thing to get to the free throw line, but Carthage is 1 of 2. You still got to make them when you get there. And Morrissey, who has improved throughout her career, is really going to, when your offense is struggling so much, this is where you have to capitalize.
And she makes the bucket. For one of the best players in the CCIW, early in the season, had some challenges at the free throw line, has really picked it up this second half of the year. Misses the second.
Yeah.
I would say if you're the Big Blue, you're saying to yourself, this is exactly what we wanted. We want Carthage to just keep shooting from far outside. Good luck having that high of a percentage again. Good luck. And if we just keep the pace, make our shots in a timely manner, Matea Tellis. And with 60 seconds remaining, it is a 24-16 lead. Carthage would love nothing more than a bucket. Floating it in for Malia Green. Pass goes too far. Ill-advised pass deep on the baseline. And the accuracy of the passing deep, once again an issue for Carthage.
You can see what they're trying to do there. I love the idea. Green cutting backdoor, and Thistle, one of the best passers in the conference, trying to find her, just a little too tough of a pass for Green to handle.
Swiped away by Thistle. Do we have a jump ball? And we do. So Carthage is now going to have an opportunity for the last shot of the second quarter of action. Carlson coming in for Pekaski, getting some offensive firepower out there. Emma Thistle, Malia Green, Knebel, and Mariana Morrissey. Nicole Johnson checks back in for her defensive prowess. Also in is Emily White, Emily Bryn Eisen, Matea Tellis, and Thistle to set up the offense for the final shot of the half. A fast opening half of action. 10 on the shot clock.
Thistle's going to have to do something here.
Thistle throws it up from the hip. What defense by Tellis. And the Big Blue of Millikin silencing Tarble Arena, holding Carthage to a 20% field goal shooting percentage in the opening half, 6 for 29. And Carthage sits at 16 points total for the opening half of action.
Yeah, I think if you're Coach Jones, the one thing you can say is it can't get much worse shooting-wise. And to only be down 8, who we know Millikin, it's not like they're going to put up, 80 points this game either.
Yeah.
So being in this kind of slow grinding game, you still are down 8, just a few good possessions of getting back in this ball game. So not been pretty. Well, you got a full 20 minutes to correct it.
We'll take a timeout. Halftime performance coming your way. After that, stats, highlights, out-of-town scoreboard, and more. 24-16, Big Blue over the Firebirds on the Firebird Broadcasting Network.
to make a free throw, a three-pointer, and a half-court shot, all in 1 minute. Let's cheer her on. On your marks, get set, go! Off the mark, just short on the first free throw. Just a bit outside. There it is, that's $50 to Golden Oil. Now for the three-pointer. Off the rim, just short. 30 seconds remaining. There it is, that's another $100. Now for a half-court shot, 15 seconds. A one-handed heave, not quite enough. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Fans, let's give it up for Brooklyn. She's going home with $150 in gas gift cards to the Golden Oil. Scoring updates from around the CCIW. In the other women's basketball opening round game, Elmhurst leads Wheaton 27-22 at the half. And on the men's side of the bracket, North Central leads North Park 49-48 at the half. And at the half in Rock Island, Augustana leads Elmhurst 40-27.
And welcome into the second half preview here on the Firebird Broadcasting Network. Peter Ferreri alongside Eric Elger, 24-16. Eric, we have some of the stats to crunch through, and you found a very unique one, the Firebirds. As we look at where things stand overall, Carthage, again, trailing 24-16. Elmhurst, also the lower seed, with a 27-22 lead at halftime of their own game. And just to update the prior information, the winner of this game versus the winner of the next game, it all depends on seeding. So if Carthage wins, they will then play Carroll. If Millikin wins, they will play Illinois Wesleyan. So wanted to clarify that. It's all based on seeding for this contest. So again, a lot of basketball left to be played. Let's take a look at the men's side of things very quickly, just to give you an out-of-town scoreboard. Again, Carthage getting the number 1 seed overall. Illinois Wesleyan, number 2, that tiebreaker for Carthage. On the flip side, North Central, North Park. How about a halftime score of a 1-point difference, 49-48. And then Augustana and Elmhurst, 40-27. So Augustana really taking control early on in that contest. Let's look at some of the stats that have brought us to this point here on the Firebird Broadcasting Network. As we look at the situation overall, Eric, let's get your opinion on things. Just the feel for the games, as you mentioned.
Well, you guys get to see that Carthage, just one player with the only
Yeah.
that was got some bigger things. sorry. There we go. Excuse me there. Gotcha. And Carthage just 6 of 30 from the field, 20%. And they don't have a player that has made more than one shot currently. So if you look at the shooting chart for the Firebirds, it is not pretty. And Nickel Johnson on the other side for Millikin, 5 of 12 from the floor, the newcomer of the year in the CCIW, 10 points. And so just alone, she's made 5 baskets. Carthage as a team, 6 baskets. You don't need too much more to know about how this game is going and seeing why they're down 8 here in the first half.
You look at points in the paint, of course, 10-4, one of the differentials. Second chance points, 4-2. Bench points, 10-2. Again, bench points and paint points, of course, Nickel Johnson. But I'm surprised almost at those second chance points. Carthage only 2 second chance points. All those offensive rebounds, Eric, has only resulted in those points being 2. First quarter, 8-6. Second quarter, 16-10. So both teams started to find a little more offense in quarter number 2. 4 lead changes, 3 times tied. But if you're Big Blue once again, you got to be feeling pretty confident about yourselves, because at no point do I or can I say I feel that Carthage has felt comfortable.
Yeah, really, they've struggled and just seemed like there's a couple times they've had some shot clock violations where it just didn't look like anything was moving towards the basket. And I think to stress again in the second half, Carthage is going to have to attack. Can they get someone like Nickel Johnson in foul trouble, who fouled out last game and got 4 fouls in the first game? So they put their offense, the best offensive player, in some trouble with some fouls, to tack some fouls on her. And there you can see the first half stats there.
We're going to take a timeout. When we come back, second half action of play. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back on the Firebird Broadcasting Network.
Being a student athlete at Carthage, you get the best of both worlds, honestly. You get to learn, grow in the classroom, and then also be a part of the sport that you've fallen in love with since you've been playing it. You get the one-on-one support from the teachers, and then you get the help from your teammates as well.
The athletics teams here at Carthage, they're like really good. Some of the achievements that we had during this past year, the volleyball team won the national championship 2 times in a row, like 2 years in a row. So it was incredible to see it, because we are like a unit. So it's really nice like to have everyone together and cheering for just one thing.
So the athletic facilities at Carthage, they're new and improving each and every year. We have the baseball, softball, and football field that all of our athletes compete on. There is the Tark, which houses the baseball weight room. There's the actual gymnasium itself, so Tarble Arena for men's, women's basketball, volleyball. And then obviously the swimming pool that is also in the Tark. And upstairs there's the field house. We've added the Nest, which is a recovery room for all of our student athletes. There's massage guns, there's granola bars, there's other food items. So we have a lot of nice things in that room that you can sign up, take it, and it's completely for free. There's so many great opportunities. The athletic staff super kind, your coaches care about you. There's just so much that goes into being a student athlete that it's an experience I would not take back.
The Aspire program is part of the Aspire Center, and the Aspire Center is our 4-year career and professional development program here at Carthage College. The Aspire program is really different and unique from other colleges and universities' career programs, because instead of what the typical experiences of senior year trying to go get a job or an experience after college, we want students to build their experiences starting from day one. So whether that means going and finding an alumni panel that they're going to learn from an alumni about the career industry that they're excited about, or if it means getting an internship or a research experience that's going to build their portfolio. We want the students to develop and learn who they are so they can really leave Carthage with a very good sense of purpose and understanding before they actually leave the college. Every student that comes to Carthage has their own individual career specialist. This is a person who specializes in the industry field that they're going into. For example, we have a career specialist for our arts, communication, and culture students. This is a person who's been working as a graphic designer for the past 20 years, and she's responsible for helping those students get opportunities and experiences along the way.
I landed my first internship as a freshman at Deloitte, which is #1 of the Big 4 accounting firms in the world. Through the Aspire program, I was able to develop skills that helped me in interviews as well as networking with other professionals.
(24-16) your score. We're live on the Firebird Broadcasting Network. Once again for Eric Elger, I'm Peter Ferreri. We thank you for being with us. Opening round of the CCIW tournament. And Big Blue has dominated both sides of the court, time of possession, and have just forced Carthage to play arguably one of their worst halves in the season. Their lowest scoring output all year was a 63-42 loss to Illinois Wesleyan. And so they got a lot of points to make up to beat that mark.
And if you're, I was going to say, if you're Carthage coming into the second half, you've got 4 of your 5 starters right now, seniors. How do you want to go out in your career here? And I know a lot of them are going to choose to fight this second half and really get it after it.
Jump ball called. So the opening possession, Morrissey with a miss. Offensive rebound, another jump ball. Big Blue, fine, you're going to get that first shot off, maybe the second. But we're going to challenge you each and every step of the way. Challenge and get that opportunity for a, was it touched? It was, so, or not touched, excuse me. So right after getting the jump ball possession and getting another chance, getting a third chance at that possession, ill-advised pass, Big Blue can make this a double-digit lead.
Well, there you go. Again, 10 offensive rebounds, but what have they shown for it? 4 second chance points. So not, or 2 second chance points, excuse me. So getting those rebounds has not led them to get any more points, and they really need to turn those into scoring opportunities.
Yeah, that was, Malia Green had contact, 10-on-10 foul. Emily White came charging in. First foul called. And this is, you mentioned, I should say you hinted at it in the opening half, Eric. This may be a contest where Carthage just has to win at the line. If the outside shots aren't falling, drive in, pump fake, get some contact and see what you can happen. Because the open layups aren't working. Carlson underneath and a foul going to be called. So foul called on Izzy Hay, who starts the game, starts the second half, and lets Nicole Johnson come right off the bench. So 2 fouls already for Millikin, and that's kind of, you may not have the points if you're Carthage. Malia Green thought about the 3, pulled it back. 15 on the shot clock. Knebel looks for the cutting thistle, can't find it. Morrissey resets. Malia Green looks for the screen. The step left. Time winding down. Morrissey driving in, tries to go up strong. She hits the back of her head hard on the floorboards. And she's going to go to the line for 2. And once again, that's exactly what we just were saying. That might be the opportunity to get back into it. Second foul, on Emily White.
Yeah, and Morrissey just, I mean, you can see she can almost do that whenever she wants. And even if you're not connecting on the layup per se or getting a shot, still drawing fouls, getting to the free throw line is going to be a key here in the second half. And Morrissey is going to continue to tack, and she knocks down her second free throw there.
And again, by no means do I want to take away from what Millikin has done. But Millikin has said, if you want to take a not pretty shot and have that be your shot of the possession, have at it. Because we have Nickel Johnson fighting the offensive board through the sea of gray jerseys. Baseline jumper, Matea Tellis good, lead at 9. Up ahead, Malia Green. Coach Jones yelling to the team to move, not a lot of movement. Green in, layup with the right hand, switch left to right. Just decided to take over that possession herself offensively.
And that is a nice take there. And just you can see just being aggressive. It's not like Millikin is, that overpowering on man-to-man defense, but if you can be aggressive and get them moving and cut to the basket, you can find some opportunities here against the Big Blue.
Driving in, right-hand contact, layup and one. Oh, a travel called. Oh, what a turn of events for the Firebirds. Initially, I thought it was a foul, but a travel on the way in the lane.
I did too. I didn't initially see that extra step, but it might be something that, kind of think about it. She did pick up her dribble almost on the other side of the lane.
Yeah.
Just took one too many to get across there, and Malia Green continued to attack.
Knebel, back of the rim, no good. Offensive board, Morrissey with the layup. Back to within 5. 4-0 run for Carthage. Malia Green with the steal. Pushing the pace, the layup with the left hand. Malia Green willing the Firebirds back into this contest. 4 out of the last 6 points for one of the fan favorites at Tarble. 26-23 your score.
How about that for the Firebirds? Getting a little defense to offense going there, and Malia Green just getting out in front. It was a foot race, able to get the separation and the easy 2, a huge basket, and that's something you see in the second half already. All of their points have been right at the rim. So Carthage making some adjustments here, and it's paying off early.
Oh, shout out to our camera operator on the baseline. How about that? He read it just as Malia Green read it. Picked it off, ran, layup, and good job by Malia Green, slowing down the pace as she got close to the basket to make sure she had enough space to get off a clean layup. Carthage within 3. It is a 6-0 run for the Firebirds. Timeout called. Could this be the spark? And we mentioned who knows who the player's going to be. Right now, Malia Green, the leading scorer for Carthage, 7 points. 4 out of the last 6 points here, and she had that early 3-pointer in the contest.
Yeah, what a nice job by Green. A nice job driving to the basket, stealing the ball, and that's something that Carthage has done a couple times now, is force some Big Blue mistakes. As the game gets tighter here, just Carthage down just 3.
Screen to the left. Knebel, open for 3. Brenice in the lefty, front of the rim, no good. Knebel runs it down. Gets it into the hands of Thistle. A 3-pointer can tie it. Morrissey drives in, kicks out for Thistle. Immediately hand in her face, reset for Morrissey. Morrissey pulls up from the free throw line, no good.
It just seems like just one more dribble. She could have got by there, just settled for the jumper. But still looking to attack, getting the feet in the paint.
Again, as we mentioned, Carthage, if they get that contact, go to the free throw line. Millikin already with 3 fouls in quarter number 3. Like you said, maybe if she took that one extra step, get that contact. But nonetheless, Carlson, is that going to be an offensive charge? It is. Head coach Hammer irate about the call. But for all intents and purposes, I mean, Carlson was not moving. She was being moved. Let's take another look.
There you can see, just is that shoulder enough to knock over Carlson? I mean, Firebird's going to love it, but you can see that is a tough call for the refs because it is just a physical player, Nickel Johnson, and that's something I've mentioned is she can get into some foul trouble. 2 fouls here can they tack on a third here, and they might be able to get her to the bench for a little bit.
3-point differential. Carlson drew the charge. She immediately sprinted to the locker room. Hope all is okay. Grace Cord and Knebel are your two bigs. Green gets the screen. The drive in, swiped away, and they're saying it went off of her knee. Nice play by Nicole Johnson. She knew she didn't have the lane, or she couldn't get in the way. Just take a swipe at it. It's a close play, because if Johnson makes contact with Green, that's foul number 3.
Yeah, you're right. That could have been, just not getting that as cleanly as she did, because they got that third foul. And you'd like to see Malia Green just take it a little stronger and higher. Don't bring the ball down low so they can swipe it like that.
Tellis drives in with the floater with the right hand, gets the contact. Again, that's what we've been saying. Can Carthage pull a page out of the playbook to do something similar? 4 fouls on Millikin. They lead 26-23. Up and good.
And how important of a player is Matea Tellis, man? Just kind of the metronome of the team. Just really makes the whole offense and defense click for the Big Blue. She's opportunistic offensively. She's 3rd on the team in scoring, but someone who does not leave the floor much at all, and she gets 2 points back there for Millikin.
So subbing in, Knebel getting a breather. Carlson back out from the locker room. Wamser in along with Grace Cord. So the Tellis matchup with Green right now. Thistle up ahead to Morrissey. So the matchup of the bigs is going to be how long can Grace Cord hold down Nicole Johnson. Cord jockeying for position, swiped, and there's the 3rd foul on Tellis.
Johnson there, yeah.
Oh, excuse me, yes.
I did the same thing in the first few minutes.
The reason I think that bears mentioning, Grace Cord out of the 3 bigs, or 4 bigs you could say, it's a situation where, as you see, Cord jockeying for position. Cord, if you look at Carlson, Pekaski, Knebel, Cord arguably your best offensive threat out of the 3, maybe not the best defensively. With that being said, you want to try to feed, and let's take another look at, I believe this is the charge once again. Yeah, this is going to be that charge that was called. So right foot was in the line, left foot was out as Nicole Johnson tried to back in. Still a 5-point lead, but once again, if you are Millikin, you're like, hey, we don't care if this is the final score. We have no problem holding Carthage to 25% from the field. They are 9 for 36 right now. Millikin, 10 for 28. They're at 35. But again, if you're Millikin, as long as you have more than the Firebirds, you are perfectly content.
Yeah, and this is where someone like Tellis or Benyson are going to have to step up with Nicole Johnson now with their 3rd foul. And how about Grace Cord doing a nice job of just being physical, making Nicole Johnson work, and able to, and Carthage being smart is trying to get the ball into Cord there and see if they can draw that foul. And Cord, as we know, one of the best free throw shooters on this team. Grace Cord shooting 80%, 81% from the line. So knocks them both down there, and now we're down 3. Another thing I've noticed too, I don't believe Carthage has attempted a 3-point shot here in the first 5 minutes, and they've really done some work getting to the basket, getting the ball down low.
The turnaround and 1. What a quick play, what a quick turn of events. Kylie Block out of Villa Grove High School immediately backed in, saw the advantage, threw it up. 2nd foul on Thistle.
Yeah, where did that come from? From Kylie Block, just has not been that involved offensively, but there immediately goes right to work on Thistle and capitalizes on the and 1. So there might be a little Kylie Block putting her name in there, say someone who I can step up and get some buckets for the team.
Grace Cord. Not to continue to praise Grace Cord for what she is known to do. It just shows the prowess of Coach Megan Jones. What is the matchup? How can I take advantage? Bryn Eisen with the left hand, and the guard Emma Thistle comes away with the rebound. There are games where Grace Cord maybe plays 5 minutes. There's games where she maybe plays 3. This could be a Grace Cord game.
Especially with just the scoring. I mean, Grace Cord is someone who can give you some punch offensively. They're just trying to look to her again.
Foul going to be called, I believe.
And how about that? That's the 5th foul, too.
Yeah, that's going to be foul number 3 against Izzy Hay. Grace Cord at the line. Up and good. You know, that's, Eric, I'm not saying you're such an amazing prognosticator, which of course you are, but again, you said at the beginning of this third quarter, small ball for Carthage. Get to the free throw line. Get some of their players in foul trouble, because the outside shot, it's not that it's not there as a team. It wasn't there for anybody individually. The full court press. Morrissey calls a timeout after getting possession. The Firebirds with an opportunity to tie it up or take the lead with this possession. What a turn of events.
And another thing I've noticed too here in the third quarter is what team have you seen on the floor diving after the ball, or if you're Emma Carlson taking the charge? So I just have loved the Firebirds and their just determination, just the effort they've come out here in the third quarter. As you can see, Kylie Block there just going to work, but Carthage has just seemed so much more just determined and just has that fire, and that momentum is really feeling to turn towards the Carthage side here.
Well, one thing to notice about that last foul, that was a smart play, or the one they showed on the screen by Kylie Block. She backed in, and then when she did the turnaround, you expect with the momentum to go up with the left hand. She switched it to the right, and there's nothing that the hands of Thistle can do but make contact. So that was a smart play by Block. I know you called it in real time. But right now, 5 fouls on Millikin, 3:51. A steal by Morrissey in the timeout. A basket ties it. A 3 takes the lead. Tallis guarding Green. That's been the matchup to keep your eye on. Morrissey guarded at the top. Grace Cord looking for space down low. Wamser pops it up. Green throws it into Thistle.
They still gotta go.
Morrissey for the lead. Can't find it. Wamser just loses possession. Up ahead. A chance to extend the lead. Layup with the right hand and good. That's old school cherry picking for Big Blue. Nice sequence there once again. Malia Green, can she get the trifecta? Rims out, no good. Multiple misses again by Carthage. Blue takes advantage. And just like that was a chance to take the lead. The turnaround, Bryn Eisen. An offensive board. Bryn Eisen open. Long range 2 nails it.
And just like that, Millikin up 6.
Yep.
And
4-0 run.
Carthage not capitalizing on that 5 fouls being in the bonus yet. And a turnover here for Morrissey.
That is the 3rd or 4th time Morrissey has got caught picking up the dribble, tried to force it through, not able to do so. Down low, layup with the right hand and good. 6-0 run for Millikin. Carthage was a rattled 3 by Morrissey on the rim, away from taking the lead. It is now an 8-point lead for Carthage. Thistle right hand rolls around and good.
What a job by Thistle there. As Carter just really trying to, I mean, she's deployed for Millikin to just pester and get in front of Emma Thistle, and Thistle just would not allow it. Continuing to keep, nice job keeping her dribble there.
Yeah.
A little floater off the glass.
Well, Nalea Carter, I think one of the issues is, don't forget, earlier in the game, Carter drew that offensive foul. So the second Emma Thistle put that arm out, you saw Carter immediately look at the officials. So we have Mariana Morrissey changing her shoes but you immediately saw Carter in real time look to the refs and look for a foul, and that allowed Thistle to drive to the lane. So that's that small, situation you could say where, hey, you may or may not get the call on any play, but if you look away at the official when the whistle isn't blown, you let her drive. So learning moment there for sure. Lead at 6. It was down to 2. Should Big Blue come away and maintain this lead, it'd be almost a bell-to-bell lead. You have to say that could be truly that turning point of the game. Carthage had possession with a chance to tie or take the lead. Multiple possessions again. Nickel Johnson in, up against Carlson. Up, good, and 1. And that's the situation if you're the Firebirds. You keep saying to yourself, Nickel Johnson's going to get hers. She's going to get it, regardless if you want it to or not. Can you keep up with the rest of your team offensively? And right now, it's not happening. Back iron, no good.
Nickel Johnson immediately making her presence felt, gets right on the floor and goes to work, and that's what she is out there to do. So can Carthage continue to attack? Can they draw some more fouls? Get to the free throw line. Still got a minute and a half being in the bonus here.
Morrissey pulls up for 2, can't find it. Pass in for Johnson, and she makes it look easy. And like that, it is a 10-point lead with 65 seconds remaining. The number 3 ranked Firebirds down by 10 at home in the opening round of the CCIW playoffs.
Millikin's been really aggressive with that fast break as that 5 for the Big Blue is sprinted, and they've hit that a couple times already this game.
Carlson out. Can Thistle find the trifecta? Near side she can't. Carlson runs it down. Thistle, Knebel, driving in baseline, up soft with the right hand. 6-second differential between the shot clock and the game clock.
Great look from Thistle there. Sees Knebel cross court. Knebel's defender didn't see that pass, and she's able to get a critical 2-point possession there for the Firebirds. As it was felt like it was starting to slip for the Firebirds a little bit there.
Millikin up to shooting 44% from the field. Carthage still sits at 27. The ill-advised pass in for Nickel Johnson. Carthage, 7 seconds. Don't be surprised for the give and go. Inbound to Green or Thistle, immediately back to Morrissey, and let her take the final shot, whatever it may be. Thistle up the court. Thistle trying to fight through, couldn't get the shot off. No foul called. Again, Carthage waiting to the end, didn't have the look they wanted. Folks, if you are a Millikin fan, you are saying we are 10 minutes away from taking on Illinois, Wesley, and Eric. What a third quarter. Once again, Millikin just kept trudging along, doing what they've done all game.
Something I thought was interesting for Millikin there is Nickel Johnson, who clearly, was on the floor. Yeah. I almost think they forced it to her a little too much like they did in that last possession. But when Nickel Johnson got that third foul, it was players like Kylie Block who went to work, players like Matea Tellis, and they were a little more diversified offensively. And after a struggle in the first half to get baskets there, that was a more offensive quarter, and Millikin really put up some points and found some different opportunities, different lanes for players to get to, and players like Brenison, another one, and there you can see just so hard to stay in front of and just effective at getting that shot.
We'll take a timeout. When we come back, the fourth and final quarter of action. Whose season will end? Whose will continue on? We'll be back in 30 on the Firebird Broadcasting Network. And we're back. Fourth quarter of action, 41-33. I'm Peter Ferreri alongside Eric Elger. The Carthage College Firebirds in the second year under head coach Megan Jones. The 3 seed and hosting, and already a foul called against Carlson. On the floor, so shot didn't get off. Third foul on Carlson, the grad student from Lawrence. And Millikin will get to reset. Once again, if you're Millikin, everything in your favor, an offensive foul. That time called against Emily White. So third personal foul now on White.
2 quick fouls there in the fourth quarter. Even out. White trying to get called for clearing out on the screen. And Carthage continue to attack.
If you're the Firebirds, you know you're not going to get them all back. Trying to force it into Carlson. That was touched by Nicole Johnson. Not only does she do everything offensively, but why not have an almost steal on the defensive side?
Yeah, she's a disruptor on the defensive end as well.
Bounce pass into Green. 10 on the shot clock. Firebirds have to get off a shot this time around. Almost poked away at the last moment by Emily White. 4 seconds remaining. Again, another possession where the Firebirds are in a situation where they got to get one off with time about to expire.
And they've really struggled in these. And they get bailed out there by a foul. Yeah. A nice opportunity for the Firebirds because, I mean, Thistle's going to have to do something there with 2 seconds on the clock. She gets the foul, and they get a fresh 20 here.
Screen. Green drives, goes all the way for Thistle. Carlson. She's double-teamed. Thistle for the 3. Soft off the front rim, no good. Another miss from long range. Carthage 2 for 18 from the 3-point line.
It's just been a struggle there. And just, I mean, seeing 16 missed threes and still to be, you know, just 8 points down, they can think about, you know, the first 3 quarters didn't go our way, but if we can really put it together here for the next 8 minutes, we can correct it all.
Malia Green making her presence known. I was going to say is out of the 2 3-pointers, you had Green early on in the game and you had Thistle with the half-court shot per se, and that's all they've had from the 3-point line, and they're usually one of the best 3-point shooting teams in the conference.
And now here, every possession defensively is going to be critical.
Another 3 seconds on Nicole Johnson. That is the third 3-second called against Nicole Johnson. The assistant coaches Mallory Leibel, Bill Dobrik, Addie Mills, and Alana Terry confirming that with the bench. Assistant coaches for Coach Jones, Madison Nitch, Lauren Herman, and Katie Amato. Another up and under for Malia Green, and just a close miss.
A good look there. She just connected on a shot similar to that, so continuing to take it to the basket. I like the aggressiveness of Green here in the fourth quarter.
6-point lead, plenty of time for the Firebirds. But can they contain Johnson? Cord matched up Johnson, turn around, another and one. Johnson, when she wants it, you can't, the shots, how about we say it this way? When she gets the ball, the shot's getting off regardless. It's if it goes in or not. Now it's a chance for Millikin to extend that lead back to 9. And why does that present just a tough challenge for the Firebirds is because in other games, Carthage, okay, we'll nail a few threes and be right back in this. It's not their game today. Carthage is 11% from the 3-point line. 11. 27 from the field. It is not too cliche to say they need to start scoring, and they need it now.
You can see Knebel trying to get some position in there, and another cut from Green.
They got to feed somebody, and right now it's Malia Green, the leading scorer for the Firebirds. But they need Millikin to miss. Johnson getting what's likely the final breather for her on the sideline. Another offensive foul called. That is going to be, I believe, another foul on Carter. It is indeed. So Carter, they've challenged her all game, and she's gotten some calls in her favor, and she's drawn some fouls as well.
I think of where Carthage would be. How many offensive fouls has Millikin committed? How many 3-second violations have they had? I mean,
correct.
That has been two avenues of opportunities that the Firebirds have not yet capitalized. And Grace Cord going to work.
Grace Cord, turn baseline. They said to themselves, all right, if Johnson's going to get that little breather, and here she comes right back in, they're going to take advantage. The best free throw shooter next to Emma Thistle on the team, Grace Cord, is at the line. She's already 100% from the free throw line today. 4 for 4. Can she make it 5 for 5? Rims out, no good. Could have made it a 2-possession game. Still sits at a 2-possession game. Lead at 5. Time dwindling down on the season for the Firebirds. Johnson backing in on Cord, up at the left hand. Travel called. There have been 3 3-second violations and 2 travels called on the offensive side of Big Blue. You mentioned it just a few minutes ago, Eric. There are only so many opportunities that are going to be given to Carthage from lapses from the Blue.
Yeah, and again, it's such a benefit when Nicole Johnson does commit something like that because, I mean, it's almost automatic if she can turn and get her shot. So can they take that travel, get something here from Green?
Tarble is on their feet. Malia Green, we are witness. 44-42, Carthage is within a possession. I must admit, when it was a 10-point lead, Eric, things were looking kind of bleak for the Firebirds. Malia Green said, feed me more. There's the layup she had that kind of started that little bit of momentum coming in. That's the play where Johnson just, again, that was the point, that was the shot that made it double digits. But then Grace Cord, the turnaround, the roll in, all smiles. And here is indeed, look at that jab step, got herself the space, kept that hand held high. Malia Green, not only the present, but one of the future leaders of this team. 44-42, but last time we were in this situation, Millikin rattled off 6 in a row as if it didn't happen. That's the resolve that Millikin has in this postseason.
Yeah, going back to Green there, just, I mean, you can see once you start getting those drives like she has, Block is thinking, hey, she's going to take it by me once again, and you said it. I mean, what to call it, just that jab step.
Yeah.
She just puts that jab right into Block, and that opens up the 3 in rhythm, and it had been a long time since they had hit a 3-point basket. As we had said, those Green Thistle, the only 2 they had before that, so maybe you see one go in after a while. That starts to catch on. Shooting can be contagious, they say. And hopefully it can be for the Firebirds here with 6 minutes, just under 6 minutes.
Carthage, 3 for 19 from the 3-point line. 2 out of those 3, Malia Green, the answer back. We said it could happen. silencing the crowd, Kylie Block. Lead at 5, 2-possession game. Firebirds can't stop their offensive momentum.
Block has done that a couple times to him.
Malia Green got a little bit too deep under the basket. Carthage has not had the lead since the beginning of the game. With 1:35 into the game, Morrissey with the steal. 5 minutes remaining. Thistle thought about the three-pointer, pulled it down. Millikin, 4 fouls so far, and Morrissey's going to the line for 2. I was just going to mention with that 4th foul for Millikin, that 5th is going to be so crucial, and Carthage is now in the bonus.
You got to love that from Morrissey again. It's just been a tough night shooting-wise, but it really doesn't matter if you continue to press forward and knock these free throws down. Like we've said, it's just been a tough shooting night for Carthage, but they can forget it if they can get on top of this game. They won't mind what the shooting percentage is if they can continue to push here in the 4th quarter.
Want to remind everybody, stick around for the post-game show with head coach Jones. The final post-game show with Coach Jones this year, win or loss, as the teams will head down to Bloomington Normal as Illinois Wesleyan will host the final weekend of the tournament. If Carthage finds a way to get this game, Tillis for 3.
Oh.
Every time Carthage gets just that inch closer, a three-pointer for Millikin just silences the crowd.
And that's one of those defensive possessions where you've done everything right and just somehow Tellis gets a heave behind the line and knocks it down.
Yeah, and that's Morrissey just pulled up for that long-range jumper that hasn't been there. You kind of saw her pull her hands back. That's where you mentioned multiple times that you want to see the drive, you want to see the contact. Morrissey. Wow. Another offensive foul by Millikin, because what I was going to say, Morrissey 2 for 15 from the field. 0 for 5 from 3. And why do I feel that bears mentioning is you have said more than once, if it's not happening from the field, as it is with some players, you got to find another way. You got to find another way. 5 points, 3.5 to go.
And I know you got to shoot with confidence, and, you know, Morrissey has knocked down some three-point shots this season, but it's just, you just kind of think of where have we been effective. It has been drawn fouls, and we get another foul from Grace Cord there. It's been drawn fouls, getting to the free throw line, and really doing kind of the dirty work offensively has been what has allowed Carthage to stay in this game, shooting so poorly from three-point and really field goal. And Grace Cord once again. Oh, that's the second one she's had to go down like that. But again, Grace Cord has been a huge factor here, and something has diversified their offense, and they've needed that post presence from 44 tonight, and she's done a nice job keeping them in here.
Johnson at 4 fouls. Carlson on the bench. Cord is your only big. Tellis drives layup right hand, good.
And Tellis, again, just the senior leader for the Big Blue, has been in the game. I don't know if she's come out yet, and has been so effective. She knocks down a 3 2 possessions ago. There, takes it all the way to the cup.
Coach Jones telling the team to move. Grace Cord empty underneath. Malia Green, can this 3 bring new life in? Malia Green not allowing Carthage to go gently into this Kenosha night. lead at 4.
What a shot. They really needed that. Cord is able to find her, and Green has just been so clutch here in the second half.
Misguided pass, it's going out of bounds. 2:23 remaining. Lead at 4. Malia Green, 7 for 13 from the field, 3 from 6 from 3, 3 boards, an assist, and 2 steals. If Carthage can find a way to win, you can call it the Malia Green game.
For sure, just it's come up huge here in the second half, and so is the Firebird defense here in the fourth quarter. They've forced 21 turnovers. So it has not been the defense that has let them down. It has been some offensive execution similar to that.
Green looked for the give and goal to Knebel. Two minutes, 4-point lead. Fade away, good. Brenison.
Another senior for the Big Blue, does a nice job getting Morrissey on her feet, off her feet.
Green, the layup. Millikin is 4 for 5 from the field. Knebel has it poked away. 4-point game. Johnson coming in for the final run. Wamser, Cord as well. Knebel and Carlson hitting the bench. It's going to be a full rotation offensively and defensively the rest of the way. A full 20 on the shot clock. If Big Blue can find a bucket, that could be the end of the road. Johnson going to the line for 2.
I think why, if you're going to be frustrated at that call, it is the ref that made it, because you can see the call comes from not even on the screen, but it did look like there was some contact there. This would be a nice time for some cheese curds. 2 missed free throws in a row would be huge for the Firebirds.
Makes the second. Lead at 5. Thistle, Wamser, Cord, Green, Morrissey.
You don't need a 3. You just want to get the best shot you can, be aggressive.
Cord up, under and good.
What a move by Grace Cord. The footwork just put Nickel Johnson in the blender there. Carves out the open shot, and they needed it. Well, how clutch was that? As here, Kylie Block has been a thorn in the side for the Firebirds. And there, like I said, that was just a solid defensive possession. Block almost loses it. Finds Tellis. As here, Grace Cord finds Green, and Malia Green's been so clutch here in the second half.
When you look at the tale of today's game, you say to yourself, 6 points in quarter number 1, 10 points in quarter number 2, third 17, fourth 19. The reason I say that is it took a while to heat up for the Firebirds. They're down 3. Can they get a defensive stop? Every time they brought it to one possession, Big Blue is answered with a 3.
Something interesting for the Big Blue. They scored 55 points in the first game, 55 in the second. They're at 55 right now. Will that be enough?
Screen at the top. They have no problems using a lot of the shot clock. Into Johnson. Backing in. Lays it up and good. What a perfect design for Millikin. They fed it around, and then next thing you know, it's the freshman Johnson versus the sophomore Cord. I mean, absolutely textbook. You drained the clock, you got a basket, and you made it a two-possession game with 33 seconds. Why is that important? Because now if you're Carthage, you got to make a quick basket and you got to foul. And now you're hoping Millikin is not as good at the free throw line as you're hoping. Easier said than done. Today, Millikin shooting 73% from the free throw line. Carthage, usually one of their strengths, they're shooting only 66%. So if you're Carthage, you're actually up to 34% from the field, but 20% from three, 66 from the free throw line. It's a 5-point game. Wamser bounces into Thistle. Stolen. Somebody's got to foul.
Got to foul.
Somebody's got to foul. Coach Jones was yelling for almost 10 seconds to foul, and the Firebirds stood still. A little bit of a mental lapse. 57-52. Not what the doctor ordered for Carthage. So that was the fourth foul. So there is a chance for Carthage to try to defend. So timeout going to be called, defend the inbound.
And this is going to be a review. I'm guessing it's a clock situation. I'm not sure what else it could be, what they would review. But yeah, that turnover there really hurts Carthage. And, you know you got to foul there. You're looking at the shot clock, the game clock, just 0.6 difference. So, I mean, Millikin was more than happy to take a shot clock violation there because they know there's going to be essentially no time left.
Yep.
But if you're Carthage, you have to be aggressive on this inbounds play. Millikin has proven that they've made some mistakes. They're up to 21, 22 turnovers, I believe. So can you force a mistake from Millikin, get a quick shot, and then it's going to have to be fouled and hope that they can't capitalize at the free throw line. But stranger things have happened in ball games before. Still 21 seconds, 5 points behind. But some things are going to have to go the Firebirds' way. They're going to come out on top tonight.
5-point lead, so if you're the Firebirds, of course you want to try to get a steal in the inbounds. Next best scenario is if you foul, the person shooting the free throw only makes one of two, because that at least keeps it, in theory, on paper at a two-possession game if you make 2 threes.
Bernison's probably who they're going to try to get the ball to. 80% free throw shooter, block 77%. Other players on the floor hovering around 65, 68%.
Brenison hits the ground. Malia Green made contact on the inbound, and Brenison's going to shoot 2. They almost had a 5-second violation. Not much to say, Eric. These past 15 seconds have just been a dagger in the heart of the Firebirds.
And
you have a chance to tie it with a 3. Shot up and good. You turn it over. Then you take 10 seconds to foul.
And I can see what Green was doing, obviously trying to deny someone who is going to make both free throws there. And he said they almost got to that 5-second violation. They almost got Tellis on a tough pass, but almost just not cutting it tonight. And if you're Coach Jones, I mean, it's all about speed. I mean, you really can't take more than 5-6 seconds off the clock here. Try to get the shot off. Hope for some steals on the inbounds. But if you're looking at Carthage, you know, what got them to this point? I mean, it's hard not to look at 4-20 from three-point line. It's hard not to look at someone like Nickel Johnson, who was just hammered away for all 20 points. And then it's been seniors such as Mattia Tellis and Kylie Block chipping in 14 for Tellis. Block up to 12. And for a team that has just won one game, just think of the Big Blue, had one win coming into the CCIW season, able to get 7 wins in conference, and now are 22 seconds away from upsetting the Firebirds.
Yeah.
And earning a trip to Illinois Wesleyan. So yeah, that's gonna set some screens. I mean, Green has been your most effective shooter. It's probably you want to get open here.
Hammer just started this season. Green off the front iron, no good. Thistle fouls it up, back iron, no good. Carlson fights it up, good. Timeout called. 5-point lead. Again, if you are Carthage, here's the scenario. If they make one of two, none would be the best situation. If they make one of two, it's a 2-possession game. But you're 4 for 21 from 3. And 3 out of the 4 are Malia Green. Yeah, Coach Hammer, you just want to say this out loud. What a job she's done. I mean, truly, you tip your hat. First season at the helm, taking in the players she had, fighting, navigating your way to the 6th seed. For all intents and purposes, did not look good this weekend against Carthage. Did not. Next thing you know, they drew Carthage, who they defeated earlier this year. I know you mentioned it earlier, but Millikin on this court, they just have Carthage's number.
Yeah, it's just been a struggle for Carthage. I mean, the game they lost on January 11th, Carthage just had 52 points. Here they're at just 54. And Millikin, we said it early, it was playing into a game that they preferred, because if it got into that 70-point range, they were going to have a hard time keeping up with them. And hopefully Bernyson, looks like she took maybe just a poke to the eye there.
Well, and if you're the Firebirds, who did you say is the person they can't foul? Bernyson. And they still find a way to get it into her. I mean, that's the story for the Big Blue today. Each and everything they needed to happen, happened. Again, how many times in this 4th quarter, and the 4th quarter alone, up and good, was Carthage one shot, one possession away from a tie or taking the lead, and Big Blue just said, oh, we're just going to get another 3. Oh, we're just going to get another 3. Oh, we're just going to get a turnover. And think about this. I don't want to use the phrase necessarily card stacked against them, but the 3-second violations, the offensive fouls, Morrissey gets it with 3 seconds left. Right into Bernyson again.
And it's kind of frustrating to see that 3 go in. It's just like, earlier, we would like to see Morrissey get that bucket to fall. And, I mean, you look at some of the stats here tonight. I mean, Carthage won the rebounding differential. They had less turnovers. They,
more blocks.
And just like there's a lot of areas
less fouls.
A lot of areas that Carthage, was ahead in Millikin, and just it's hard to it seems so simple to break it down to just a poor shooting night, but they just could not overcome that.
That's going to be it. That's going to be all she wrote. The Big Blue of Millikin, led by freshman star Nickel Johnson, 20 points, 9 for 16 from the field, will lead Big Blue to take on Illinois Wesleyan this Friday evening. Top 6 teams made the postseason. The 6th seed upsets number 3, and that's why you play the game.
Yeah, I mean, you look at it, it's like you think Carthage, hey, just repeat what you did on Saturday, but exactly, that's why you roll the ball out there and, see where the game takes you, and credit to Millikin, and they just really played their game, and Carthage kind of fell into that style. They were settling for outside shots, and Millikin just continued to grind, get baskets where they needed. They had huge senior buckets, and credit to them. They were the better team tonight.
We'll take a timeout. When we come back, the post-game show, congratulations to the Big Blue of Millikin. Played their style of game, stuck to their game plan, never wavered every single time. Carthage was getting close. Millikin said not so fast, found their way back into the lead. And after 1 minute and 34 seconds into the game, Millikin led from whistle to whistle. We'll come back with the post-game show. Once again, congratulations to Millikin. We'll recap Carthage right here on the Firebird Broadcasting Network. Welcome to the post-game show on the Firebird Broadcasting Network. Once again, your final 63-57, joined now by Coach Jones. Coach, I know it's recent. I know it just happened. What was the message to the team? I mean, you fought so resiliency multiple times coming back down double digits at some point. What was the message to the players?
Yeah, I said, be proud of how hard you fought in the second half. It stings, and I told them it's going to sting for a long time. I've been in their shoes. But I told them to be proud of what we've done as a team, as a program. We had some really, really high moments throughout the season, beating Illinois Wesleyan when they were the number 2 team in the country, 2 really big wins in Puerto Rico against teams that were getting votes. And so I just said to be proud of what they've done as a team. That's moved our program as a whole forward, that now that's the expectation for years to come.
And Coach, it's been exciting to see the program. Just seems like it's just on this upward trajectory. I mean, players like Malia Green, 19 points tonight, Grace Cord, 13. 2 players that will be key contributors next season, and it's exciting to see where this program's continuing to grow.
Yeah, for sure. Malia had a great game. She was taking it to the basket really well. Grace Cord gave us really big minutes off the bench too. And so, yeah, we're excited about the future. But like I told them afterwards just now, the losses sting, the wins you remember, but it's the friendships that continue on, that those people will be your bridesmaids in your wedding. And so those are the things that mean the most. And so I'm just really proud of our team and how connected they are, that I know that that's in their future, because they're still going to be best friends 10 years from now.
Yeah, absolutely. Coach, before we let you go, again, it's been an honor and privilege for us to be with you all season. Final thoughts on this senior class, whether it was transfers like Carlson coming in for 1 year, or the Morrisseys of the world and the rest of the crew. Well, one more thought on them.
Yeah. I mean, this is a special senior group. We have 6 seniors. Carlson obviously transferred in. Maeve, she wasn't able to play this year because she tore her ACL in the summer, and so it was unfortunate that she didn't get to finish that senior season, but was still there at everything and cheering on her teammates. And so, yeah, these seniors just really bought into a new coach coming in halfway through their career, that they trusted me to put them in positions to hopefully succeed. And so I guess thank them for what they've done for me as a coach, and also for our program as a whole, and I know their impact will last for years and years.
Yeah, well, Coach, let us say you had a great season. Thank you once again for allowing us to be a part of it, and best of luck in the offseason. We'll see you soon.
Thank you.
Once again, that was Coach Jones. It's always, no way around it, it's tough to have that conversation. Such high expectations, coming in on such a win streak, or win against Millikin, I should say. You think about the resiliency of this team. You welcome Illinois Wesleyan in. They have not lost, who, as we see now, Illinois Wesleyan will take on and host Millikin. Augustana Carroll will be the other matchup. As we move on to the men's side of things, Carthage North Central.
And there you can see a good positive for Carthage. For the men's team, the 2 losses they had in the CCIW were to North Park, so good riddance. You're going to need to see North Park again this season.
Augustana will be taking on Illinois Wesleyan in that circumstance, but I think what bears mentioning is, as we just kind of reflect on the season and see players and everybody converging here on the court at Tarble Arena, Illinois Wesleyan had everything going in their favor, everything lining up for what they were going to do. It's a televised matchup on Marquee, and Carthage shows, hey, we're here and we're going to be here to stay. They hit a little bump in the road. They had a few losses in a row. They could have secured this number 3 seed a few games ago. Found a way to do it against Millikin, got the 3 seed, got the host, and again, unfortunately, things just didn't go in their favor. Final point, 63-57. Up to 21, but out of 59, 5 threes out of 22, led in rebounds, less turnovers. Again, if you were to, besides the score, if you were to look at that stat line and ask, well, who do you think won? Would have favored Carthage. But again, Millikin, the resiliency, made the shots when they needed to, got the points when they needed to. It just, everything turned up blue. And again, you tip your hat to them. They played their game.
Yeah, I think something to be said for Carthage. I mean, you can't always let the results dictate, how your program's growing. And you can see the process that Coach Jones has instilled in this team. And you just, like I said, you've seen the trajectory heading up. And, yeah, they ran into a bump here at the end of the season, but they're going to have some good players returning next season. She's going to be hot on the recruiting trail, trying to bring in more talent. And with this team having, being the third seed, that also can perpetuate this trajectory and keep this Firebird women's basketball team on the upswing.
Again, bench points favoring Millikin. But again, when you think about this now.
Those are all Nickel Johnson.
Those are all Nickel Johnson. Yeah. She's the only player besides your starting five that scored points, more points in the paint by Carthage. Second chance points, only 8. They out-rebounded. So, again, so many things that you thought, okay, this might come to fruition, just didn't happen. But, again, Millikin, best of luck against Illinois Wesleyan. That'll be a great one to watch. Make sure to go to Illinois Wesleyan's website for all that information. As for what is upcoming on the Firebird Broadcasting Network, tomorrow, men's volleyball at 7 o'clock. Also, men's lacrosse versus Edgewood. Friday, we'll be back because it's the CCIW Track Championships, water polo versus McAllister. And then Eric and myself will be here for the doubleheader of the CCIW men's basketball semifinals. It will be Illinois Wesleyan versus a winner of tomorrow's game, and then your Carthage College Firebirds taking on the winner of a game tomorrow as well. That will be estimated 7:30 tip-off. Again, on behalf of all the staff and crew for this season, it's been a blast. It's been an honor. We will be back tomorrow. For executive producer Mike Love, producer John Voinovich, assistant producer Laura Stockham. Also for Allison, Marissa, Owen, Braylon, Matt, Jeremy, and Addison. Student-produced broadcast top-notch in the CCIW. This program has been a presentation of Firebird Broadcast Productions and Carthage College, copyright 2023. Once again, Millikin takes out Carthage in the first round of the CCIW tournament. For Eric Elger, I'm Peter Ferreri. Have a good night, everybody.